Hi there. So today on Cars, Drones, Computers, we're going to be doing a little walk around and tour of my 2006 E55 AMG. This car has about 27,000 miles and is pretty much stock with the exception of the previous owner painted the wheels to match the paint, and I got a tune on it and a couple other little bits here and there. So we'll go ahead and start here at the rear of the car. You can see there's the factory AMG Sport exhaust. Open the trunk up, and I got my tools and stuff from working here, but it's got a little compartment over here. I keep the battery charger there. And then underneath is the spare tire, and this one piece was sagging, so I put a piece of wood in there for now, but it comes with a factory Space Saver tire with a air compressor and even a little bag to store the tire when you change it. Jack sits right over there. There's the navigation where that goes. You take this off, that's your fuse panel. It's also a 12-volt accessory plug right there. Go ahead and look here in the back. It's got the dark wood look that still need to cover these. I cover the front in carbon fiber vinyl wrap. It has power rear headrest, Alcantara sunliner, and a power rear windshield. And it has ventilated seats and side airbags, digital rear climate control. Moving here into the front. So inside here, we've got memory seats that adjust the steering wheel, the seats, and the mirrors all to the driver position when you get in. So I have mine set to 1, my wife is set to 2. So that way when either of us get in, everything goes automatically adjust to where we need once you just press and hold the button. And this has the Harman Kardon sound system. It's okay. You could use probably a couple speakers replaced. It's not too bad for stock. Got the dash cam installed up there. We're straight under here. This is your garage door opener, and I have to program that. Your SOS, and it even has a button right here for anti-tilt, so that if your car is sitting there, the alarm will go off if it senses that the car is being tilted. It's like put on a tow truck. Of course, the rear light controls, and then this whole ring right here also lights up at nighttime when you have the lights, and there's also one in the rear. Kids like that. Of course, got a sunroof. All Alcantara, real soft touch. This has the sport steering wheel, and let me go ahead and turn on the ignition. Alright, so this has the sport steering wheel and has a couple buttons on the other side so you can shift it up and down. Of course, this has the old 5-speed transmission that Mercedes-Benz had back in the day, which is one of the reasons I bought this car, because they're rated to 738 foot-pounds of torque, because its transmission also came in the S65 AMG V12. So I figured if I got the V8 and it has the good transmission instead of the later 7-speed that they went to, then I could go ahead and do performance upgrades without having to worry about the transmission, which so far, fingers crossed, has worked out pretty well. Down here we have multiple adjustable suspension, so when the lights are off you have comfort, and then setting 1 for the Airmatic DC and Sport 2 mode. This is for the car's lift, so if you press this, I believe the car goes up right around 3/4 to 1 inch. This is full air suspension all the way around. It has a pretty good ride. And then right here, this is your different transmission modes, so you can go into manual mode, sport, or comfort. In comfort mode you start out in 2nd gear. Manual mode obviously is pretty self-explanatory, so you can use the paddles here on the steering wheel, or you can move the shifter when it's in drive and shift just like that. So this would be down and this is up. Also in sport mode, it will hold the gears longer, hold the RPMs higher until it shifts, and even after you've done a pull, it'll stay in that gear for a split second just in case you need to do another pull. Now this, of course, is the AMG dash, so you get the AMG clock. So if you adjust it over here, then this here will spin around automatically to match the time. Of course, over here, that's just my little magnetic phone mount. I like to keep that out of the way. Of course, here you got your dual climate control. The radio I've kept factory for now. Eventually I'd like to get the Android Auto. I have a Galaxy S8, so I want to get the Android Auto. Some of this stuff doesn't work. The navigation is too old, and you know, a lot of these vehicles that once they get a little older don't work quite as well. I did run a Bluetooth module that goes from the auxiliary cord that's inside the glove box here, right there, and then that runs all the way through the dash and right back here. So I have my little Bluetooth module right there. So that was my little workaround. I'm gonna press this button right here and flip you guys around so you can see when I hit that button, it puts the power rear windshield up. Let me go ahead and put that back. And then there's also, if you press this button, and if you have the rear seat headrests up, it'll go ahead and pop those down real quick for you. do have heated and cooled seats. This is your lock and unlock button, traction control off and on, and of course passenger side. And then also this is your hazard button. But right here, if you press this motorizes that piece up, and underneath is your 6-disc CD changer. And then there's also another CD slot right here, so you can hold 7 discs. So these have the perforated leather AMG sport seats. It also has massage functions and the dynamic control. So when you're going around a corner, this will pump a little bit more air. The air suspension is actually hooked into the seat. And there's an additional pump in the trunk to run the massage features that these also have, which has been hit or miss. Haven't really got them to work too consistently, just kind of off and on. So definitely something I'd like to fix in the future, because it's just one of them things. That's why, it's kind of why you get cars like these. Well, of course, then they go fast too. But I covered the entire inside here with the carbon vinyl wrap. I didn't really like the whole wood look, and it took quite a bit of taking apart all of these pieces to cover it. So that pretty much sums up the interior. So this is just a quick little review. Let me go ahead and shut it off here and show you guys the engine, because that's the real reason you get one of these cars. So this is a 5.4 liter V8 with a supercharger on it, and right there is the engine plaque that shows Sasha Grimes built this engine by hand. Of course, you got your dual air boxes that then funnel to dual cold air intakes here in the front. And if I take this off, you can see there's the supercharger pulley that is clutch. So if it does have spark knock or anything like that, it shuts the supercharger off. Or if your intercooler pump is not working very good, I ended up upgrading mine to the Bosch 010 unit. That is one small thing that I upgraded. Then you get a better intercooler pump. It just has a air to water intercooler. Of course, here is one of the air lines. The air compressor lives right here in the front of the bumper. The intake and the throttle body sits here in the rear of the engine. This is where you check your transmission fluid, but that goes to both air boxes. I did remove the whole undercover right here and got rid of all of the sound deadening, along with one of the little vent covers, so that way I hear the supercharger whine a little bit more. Windshield washers right over here, and the tank's actually in the fender well, inside the fender. Dual locks, and this has the active cornering by xenon headlights. I did replace the headlight lenses on this, and I had to do some fixing on the grill. You can see down there, that's the intercooler right there. And this car is also equipped 8-piston Brembo brakes that have AMG badging on them with huge drilled rotors. Each one of these front brake calipers has 4 brake pads, and the rears, I believe these are 4-piston Brembo rears. It just has 2 brake pads for your main brakes, and of course it has separate brake pads for your emergency. But this thing pretty much chews through tires, which is of course due to the engine and my driving style. So just a quick note too, if you're ever looking for one of these, there's a couple differentiating things that you'll find if you're like, ooh, is that an AMG? And even if it doesn't have the badge, keep an eye out for quad exhaust tips. Keep an eye out for, usually they're silver, but this style of wheel that's silver because it has the AMG badging. Also keep an eye out for the brakes. And one of the biggest telltales is the V8 compressor badge right here. And none of the other E-classes, I don't believe the W211 class has a badge right here. So if you see V8 compressor, probably an AMG. I have a Race IQ Stage 1 tune with pops and bangs, and it's pretty quick. At factory, it's 469 horsepower, 516 foot-pounds of torque, and with the tune, I should be a little over 500 horsepower. It's fast enough. Definitely good grocery getter for hauling my family around. It works really well. So thank you all for watching this Cars Running This Computer little walk around and review, and until next time, bye for now.